Google has released Gemini CLI, and while it feels like a knockoff of Claude Code, it does have a lot of powerful features. So in this video, I'm going to look at the top 5 features in the Gemini CLI, and then we'll look at how it codes and compare it with Claude Code. Let's go. Gemini CLI has a free tier that's very generous. Like, check out some of the things you get. You get access to the Gemini 2.5 Pro model, which is one of the best models that Google has for AI coding. I think it actually is the best model right now. You get 60 requests per minute and 1,000 requests per day at no charge. You can do that all with your Google account, and you don't have to put in a credit card. You just have to have a standard Google account. Like, this is pretty crazy, and compared to something like Claude Code, where the base plan is $20 a month, and that you don't even get very much. So this is going to be a real game changer for people. We'll see how long it lasts, but for right now, this is a crazy opportunity to use leading AI models totally for free. If there's one thing Google knows how to do really well, it's web search. And they even fuse that into the Gemini CLI. You can see in the documentation here, it says, ground your queries with the Google search tool built into Gemini. And the way that works is all the prompts you give it, if it doesn't have all the information it needs or it needs to search for more current information on the internet, it has access to the full Google search platform to do those searches and bring that information back. Now we're in the Gemini CLI. Now how it looks there is you're going to see sometimes it's going to have a Google search tool here. Then once it gets back the information, it's going to ground the results with that information it's getting from its Google search. This is actually really powerful because it gives you latest information on technologies using the best standards for coding practices. You just get it out of the box. It just integrates so nicely with Gemini. You don't just have to use the Gemini CLI in interactive mode. You can also use it anywhere in your terminal to do basically anything. Really, all you have to do is just after you put in Gemini, just do a -- prompt, and that's going to say run it in non-interactive mode. So we can just say who won the 2025 Super Bowl. And there we go. It just gives us a little bit of information about the Eagles' big win. This is really powerful because you can pipe in files as input and also take the output and pipe that to a file as well. You can do all kinds of different scripts and workflows with this feature. So in this more useful example, I'm going to say summarize this project in bullet points. And now it's going to take the context of the current project it's in and just give me a write-up in Markdown of all the different things. So I can just pipe this to a Markdown file and have a piece of documentation automatically generated for me. So Gemini CLI can really superpower your entire terminal. One really amazing feature with the Gemini CLI is how big the context window you get is. It's 1 million tokens. So here what I'm doing is I'm loading in an entire project. It's actually an entire Shopify site. And I'm loading it into the context. And you can see here the context is going down, but like this is a huge site and it's just going down by 20%, 30%. And there we go, it loaded the whole thing. And I still have 64% of the context left. So what this means is now that I'm doing changes to this site, I have the entire site as context. So I can say it's going to know when something changes over on file A that affects file B. It's going to know all the different relationships. And if I make a change somewhere, it's not going to break something else. So the huge context, the 1 million token context, is a huge feature of Gemini. Gemini CLI is fully multimodal. So check this out. I can just take this invoice file and just say convert to a .json file. So basically extract the text from it and then turn it into a nice JSON file that I can use. In just a few seconds, I created invoice.json. Here's all the data put in there. And I haven't tried this myself, but apparently you can use the VO MCP servers and actually create images and little videos right from inside Gemini CLI. So you can really do everything from input to output, all kinds of multimodal, from video, images, sound. It's actually very powerful in that respect. If you're into AI software development like me, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter, the AI Unleashed News. It's the first link in the description, and I hope to see you there. So while all those features are amazing, if its coding abilities isn't up to par with something like Claude Code or Cursor, then it's all useless. So I'm going to take a real example that I'm working on right now and see how Gemini CLI handles it versus Claude Code. This is just a simple application I've written. And what it does is allows a Shopify site to show customers on a map where their retail locations are. So if you click on one of these markers, it shows right now the street view for the location. What I want to add to it is a directions button. So you can click on that. It will go right to the Google's direction and navigate you to the store. We're going to say in store locator, add a directions button to the location marker so the user can get Google Maps directions to the location. So the first thing that's going to have to do is figure out in the code base of the Shopify application exactly where that map store locator is. So it looks like it's done a good job to search for that and find it. This is where having that huge context is going to help a lot, where it can load up a whole bunch of different files and then be able to quickly find what it needs to change. So I have it accepting edits, and one thing I just noticed here, it added these non-English characters in the file and then took them out again, which I guess is okay, but I've never seen stuff like that in Claude Code. Bit of a weird hallucination there. And another thing you'll notice is down the bottom right here, it's actually switched me to Gemini 2.5 Flash. I've seen this happen a few times now, where you start off on Gemini 2.5 Pro, and then after some coding, it's going to switch you to the inferior Flash model, but just watch out for that. Okay, so now it's finished, and instead I've added the directions button to the locations marker in the store locator, which will open Google Maps with directions to the selected location. All right, well, sounds good. Let's see how it works. Now if we jump back into our map, we just click on one of these locations. Okay, so now we see the directions button. Click on that, it opens up a new tab. It puts my location there and then tells me exactly how to get to this location that I clicked on. So no complaints here. It was a simple task, but Gemini CLI nailed it. Let's see how it handles something a little bit more challenging. So actually, once I restarted Gemini, now it's back to Gemini 2.5 Pro. That's another tip I've kind of discovered. If you get switch to Flash, try to restart it and get back to Pro, because you really want the Pro one. Let's say update the default zoom based on the user's device resolution so they can see the same viewport. Definitely a more tricky ask, because now it's going to ask to figure out what resolution the user has and then adjust the zoom on the map so they see the same number of locations. If we see here, it's taken a pretty simplistic approach. It's getting the width of the window that the map's in, and then if it's less than 768 pixels, has a zoom of 7, and then if it's less than 1200, a zoom of 8, and if it's bigger than that, a zoom of 9. Let's see if this approach to the solution is actually the right one and if it works well, and then we'll see if Claude Code can do even better. Now if we look at what it actually did, it actually made it worse in a lot of ways. So if we just open it up normally, it's going to zoom in too much on the Vancouver area. It's not going to expand enough to show the other locations. But then if we switch to our phone view and refresh that, now this looks a little bit better, but it's still not wide enough to get a lot of the locations over here. So what it really should have done is try to be smarter about it and try to figure out what viewport it should use to get the most locations on the different devices. So I'd call this one a decent attempt, but it definitely a fail. You can see with Claude Code, using exactly the same prompt, exactly the same code base, it had a much better implementation. What I did is it calculated the effective width. So it took the screen width times the pixel ratio, and then it had more categories of effective width with different zoom rates. So this should work much better. And the result of that Claude Code change seems to be much more effective than what Gemini CLI did. So now on desktop mode, it shows a pretty good representation of the locations. I switched to the mobile, refresh that, pretty good as well. I think that's actually a pretty good representation of the differences between where Gemini CLI is and where Claude Code is. For simple things, Gemini CLI can keep up just fine. Once you get to more complex features and ask it to do more complex things, then Claude Code and the Claude 4 models still have a big edge up. So let me know in the comments what you think if you had a chance to try the Gemini CLI. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like this video. Hope you're having an amazing day. I'll talk to you in the next one.